Hi Aries, welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. We're going to look at March for you guys today. I did a Celtic Cross spread for the month of March plus a Threads of Fate Oracle for your Catalyst energy using Thoth today. You can use this for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node. Since my emphasis as a reader is soul development, the North Node is actually a great spot to look for in terms of these readings. So let's get started. Starting with your Catalyst energy, this is what's going to keep you in the highest frequency possible throughout the month. I pulled Trust. It came out in the reverse. This is about self-trust, okay? And I feel like you're there, actually. I feel like you've been able to develop this in the last several months with everything that you've been doing. I mean, I know that leadership and empowerment and collaboration has really been on the forefront for you guys for months now. And so I feel like you really are here. So this is celebratory. This is like, wow, look at how far I've come. Look at how much more I'm able to trust myself now. Trusting your inner guidance, your inner feelings, I think in particular. I think many areas you do trust yourselves as authorities, but this is like trusting your innermost self. Your feelings, your intuition, your instincts, more body-based and emotional-based things. Rather than, what you can trust on the outside, like your outward-facing personality. If you can hear that in the background, my rabbit's just drinking water, sorry. Anyway, yeah, so this is about trusting that innermost self, your own emotions, your own heart, using that as the guide. And this is coming up because it's kind of like, hey, look, you did it. So now that you've gotten to a place where you can trust those things, what are you going to do now with that enhanced sense of trust? It's kind of like you have everything in front of you now. So yeah, let's explore this further and see what you have in the cards based on that self-trust you've been able to cultivate. You're thirsty, Bastion. Okay, moving into Celtic Cross spread. Center point this month, we have the Priestess. Beautiful energies. You have, like, right off the bat, I pulled, like, 3 major arcana. There's a lot of major arcana in this spread, so this is a pretty key month for you. And the themes that you deal with in March, and I think, yeah, at the end of March, it becomes Aries season, right? So it's kind of like you're entering your birthday month here. And yeah, it looks like whatever themes you deal with this month, they are going to carry for longer because of all the major arcana. So you are going to deal with some, longer term themes. And it's like this month is kind of getting you in the flow of all that. So I feel like you're entering a new cycle. You're also celebrating the chapter you just closed that really sealed your ability to trust yourselves. Even as an Aries South node, I can feel that in myself, which is really interesting. Okay, the Priestess. Yeah, this is a direct pull to the self-trust thing, because this is all about intuition. Specifically, the Priestess can kind of rule things that you don't know, like things that haven't been revealed yet, like not having all the information. And, the Priestess energy that is really in their power, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you don't know, because you trust your instincts and your intuition so much that you can just put one foot in front of the other and trust where it leads, because that inner guidance is just so strong. And so I feel like that's where you're at. It's like, okay, I don't have all the answers. I don't have everything mapped out in front of me right now. I don't quite know how this is all going to pan out, but I trust myself. I trust spirit. I trust my intuition to just guide me anyway and get through it. So I think that's where you're at. Looks like you guys have really leveled up in terms of the development of your intuition. Like you're really able to listen in a way that you previously hadn't developed yet. So you can really lean on that this month and use that to guide you. Really, really powerful. Crossing that energy, we have the Lovers. This is about you coming back to yourself first and foremost. I'm really not feeling into anything else. The only other that I can kind of picture is just the universe itself and your relationship to that. So your relationship to the co-creation is important, and your relationship with your own heart this month. It's just really important now that you've gotten to this point where you can trust yourself more, that you make good on that promise and you continue to listen to yourself as your own guiding light first and foremost. And it looks like there is still some work to do in terms of, because I'm getting a wound. It seems to be sacral, and it's particularly present in like my lower back, but my stomach and the front as well. And kind of up in the mid back as well. So like second, third chakra issues. I'm getting a wound there. So I'm feeling like you're still going to have to work. I mean, of course, the work never stops. You're going to have to work to repair your relationship with yourself in some regard. Now that you have the self-trust, you can now use that to address the parts of yourself that are just feeling really tender and raw right now, and just give those parts of yourself what it needs. So look at your second and third chakra issues this month. I'm trying to feel into, yeah, there might be some like digestive issues that you could be dealing with, back issues, if you're having like a physical somatic response. Otherwise, anything you can do to just kind of restore those chakras is important. So with sacral chakra stuff like movement, dance, sport, martial arts, music, singing, water-based activity, all of those things can kind of nourish you. Make sure that you're hydrating. Third chakra, I'm not getting as strong a hit, but it is there. Getting out into the sun, making sure that you get enough vitamin D, any kind of creative activity is important. Even just like something that like gives your mind something to do, like puzzle games or like anything that just kind of like helps you feel mentally acute can help with that area. And I'm getting I am getting an emphasis on the back in that area. Just feeling into what spirit, because I just feel pushed from the back, like they're pushing me a little bit. Don't take on more than you can handle. Not to say that you can't be busy. I mean, like life goes on, but don't push yourself based on like a not enough story. I think what the wound that is coming to the forefront is the not enough story. And so you need to be able to trust your own threshold, and that's part of self-trust, is trusting yourself to get done what you need to get done, and also trusting when it's time to tap out. Like, when have you pushed your body enough? When do you need to take a break, right? And so allowing yourself to kind of follow that natural energy flow is going to be really key this month too, okay? And your past affecting your present. The Magus reversed. It's interesting, I was shuffling the deck, and then this card fell out, and I put it back in the deck. And then it fell out again, but it fell out in the reversal the second time. So I'm just going to feel into that. Okay, so while you guys trust yourselves to be self-directive, to be leaders, to be authority figures, to manage people, whatever, I am feeling into what I have, said to you guys in previous readings and just the previous months, about kind of making this switch to more of an egalitarian or diplomatic place instead of like assertive or authority. Because whatever it is that you're working on now, that's what's required of you. So it's kind of going towards that Libra, going towards your opposite, and becoming the diplomat has been a theme for you. That's still coming up. It almost feels like, and it's connected to the lover's wound, it almost feels like this inner wound of feeling like you can't trust yourself or feeling like you're not enough, that's being projected on others out of this like previous like mistrust of yourself. And so it's like you have there may be a past pattern of trying to control others to kind of bridge that gap. It's like, okay, if I could just control everyone around me, then my wounded not enough story will be placated and everything will be fine. And I feel like in previous few months that just hasn't been working, and you've had to adjust, reform that self-trust, that contract with self, with your own emotions, with your intuition. And now this is just being agitated again, this wounded child story. It hasn't just fully been dealt with. And so what I'm feeling is, again, just this emphasis on make sure that you trust yourself and that you trust yourself on all levels. So trust yourself to show up in community or in collaboration or as an authority with people, as this new kind of egalitarian, more diplomatic person that you're becoming. Make sure that you're not blaming, shaming, or judging yourself for the current moment or any way you've acted in the past. Every way that you behaved in the past was a way to protect yourself, even when those things get outdated or whatever, and we just have to let go of old ways of being and restructure our system. And that's just part of the game, so it's okay. Forgive yourself. Every part of you that exists right now exists to keep you safe, and that's why you're still here. So any old ways of being, you can just thank that pattern for doing what it could to keep you safe in the moment, and just let them know that you don't need that pattern anymore, right? And so that's gonna break the contract with old patterns without putting you into a shame story. And that's gonna be really key, because as you're stepping into your power more and more, you're gonna have to trust that you can carry yourself in a clearer way, with yourself and others from here, okay? And that's, I am getting a hit on the Lovers too, in terms of like, you're really paying a lot of attention to your relationship with others right now and how you're showing up, and I think that's really, really great. So the key here is just like make sure that you're not judging yourself for not being perfect, or for, you know, learning a new pattern or a new way of being. It's okay. We all do it. We're all imperfect beings that are here to learn. So just extend some grace for yourself, and then also trust that the new person that you're showing up as now, as this more collaborative person, as this maybe more easygoing person in some ways, is going to get you just as far, if not farther. And so I think maybe you'll just have to prove that to yourselves as you go. There's kind of this nervousness because you don't know how to do it fully yet. And that's okay. You can be in that unknown. It's okay. Back to the Priestess. It's okay to be in that unknown. Okay. Moving on. Your foundation this month. This is what's grounding you. The Ace of Swords reversed. It looks like you have a mindset that's actually really grounding. I mean, often Swords energy can take you out of your body. I'm not feeling that from you. I'm feeling a lot of thoughts that are keeping you here, keeping you in your body, keeping you glued to the earth. A mindset that is really stable. And so maybe that's just because you've consciously worked to get here. You know, the mindset that you have now, the thought patterns, you've really worked to change certain things, to solidify new things, and that's really serving you now. So again, that's a time to celebrate and be appreciative of the work that you've done to get you here, because you are not who you used to be, and you're just becoming more and more yourself, integrating your opposite, doing your work. And I'm really proud of you guys. Crowning you this month, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. I feel like you're also, again, just in terms of relationship with others, really being mindful of how you're coming off, of like the words that you're using with people, how it affects other people, trying to really work on exercising tact, control, using diplomatic or collaborative language rather than assertive or separatist language. Yeah, you're just really working on your communication and how others are receiving it. And you're just, yeah, I feel like you're just really being mindful. So just the only caveat here is just make sure not to beat yourself up if you feel like you've made a mistake. Just learn from it and move on, and take ownership if you need to. If you really hurt someone, take ownership of it. And that's honestly all that you need to do, is just take ownership, move on, and ask yourself what you learned from that. Okay, there's no reason to blame, shame, or judge yourself, because you are, the fact that you're even thinking about that is a testament to like your desire and care for yourself and for others, and for, you know, whatever you're doing with others, whether it's work or family, or friends or community or whatever. That mindfulness is the key here, and it can bring you back into that self-trust, that feeling of like, no, I'm on the right track. This is okay. I'm being aware of things I didn't used to be aware of, and that's all this is, right? Just being aware. And the best way to kind of really hone a new muscle and to get into a new pattern is to just, really forgive and accept yourself. And through that acceptance, the old pattern wants to swing around, because, shame traps us, forgiveness releases us. Not even forgiveness, just radical acceptance of who we are. It's what allows us to redirect that energy and hone new muscles. So continue to just celebrate and appreciate yourself as you're being mindful and careful and walking through this month, okay? New circumstance, we have the Ten of Swords, the wound, the lover's wound. It's going to be in your face. I don't think you're going to be able to avoid it. I really feel it in my stomach a lot. It definitely goes up into the third, but it's definitely rooted in the stomach. And it feels like guilt. It feels like shame. It feels like your stomach is twisted in knots. And it was already here. Like, this is an old wounded child story, so it's not going to kill you. So, like, whatever comes up, whether it's digestive distress, or you just feel tense, or you just feel not quite right, or you feel nervous, or this guilt story is coming up, just remind yourself that this isn't like a new energy that's coming in to like derail you from what you're doing. This is something old that's surfacing because you're ready to deal with it. So just keep that in mind. You can sit in this discomfort, okay? You can. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. I think the best way to address it, if you don't have like a really direct kind of clearing modality, is movement, like I mentioned before. So yoga, tai chi, dance, singing, getting in the water, like swimming, a water ritual even would be nice. Yeah, you're just gonna have to find the root of this pattern and clear it. It really does have something to do with guilt and something to do with not being enough. Okay. Your ego this month, we have the art card. Yeah, temperance. I mean, that did come up because, you know, in terms of like wanting to be mindful and tactful, in terms of using your thoughts to ground you, in terms of navigating waters that you don't quite know how to navigate yet, and, you know, sealing this contract with yourself, all of this is about temperance because you're really watching what you say. I think first and foremost, you're really watching what you say to other people and even to yourself, I think. So, yeah, that's this. This is where you're at. This is your energy, Aries. Just being careful, watching what you say, exercising tact, treading carefully, as you kind of move out of the old pattern into the new. And you're kind of in this phase where you're right at the start of the new pattern, but the old pattern is still here in terms of like there's a few other things to heal and let go of. But also, I think that sometimes when you get into a new way of being, there's definitely a fear of slipping back into the old. And so you're just going to have to monitor that fear. I think a certain degree of healthy fear is good because it keeps us consciously working to instill the new patterns that we're trying to get into until it becomes automatic. And so until it becomes automatic, you do kind of need to be mindful that you don't slip back. And so a little healthy fear is good. But you don't want paralyzing fear because that's just going to lead to shame and guilt, which we don't want. So, so again, yeah, temperance is key here. Just striking a balance, being as fluid as you can, allowing yourself to make mistakes and adjust and shift, and just kind of being in that flow without judgment. Just be as compassionate, as self-compassionate as you possibly can, while still holding things in your awareness. Okay, so that's kind of the key here, the balance. In your environment this month, 2 cards. We have the 4 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Let's take a look at the 4 of Cups first. Definitely take some time for yourself this month. Not like you have to take a huge all-out break, but a weekend, or whatever, to settle, because your energy is going to feel a little unsettled because you're right at the cusp of a new pattern. So all the old patterns are kind of up in the air and drudging things up. The new pattern is trying to solidify. So I think you may just feel a little bit shaky or a little unsteady or a little unsettled this month. I think if you take a couple of days, just a couple of days, to just be, and to just do a self-care weekend for yourself. Yeah, honestly, water, again, like, water medicine's going to be really, really transformative for you this month. So, like, taking a bath, or going to the lake or the ocean, or, yeah, doing a water ritual, making sure that you stay hydrated, all of those things I think will really help you. And yeah, it's just like, you know, don't take house calls, watch a show, do what feels good for you, and just be spontaneous. No schedule, no nothing. Be in your own energy, swim in that ocean of consciousness, and then just see how you feel after. That'll just let things settle in a way that really takes care of you. Okay. Paired with that, we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, you'll come out of that feeling a lot better. You'll come out of that feeling really revitalized. I feel like this break is what's going to allow you to undress this wounded pattern, unlock it, heal it, move on. And once you do, it's going to kind of feel like this fresh spring of water is kind of rising in you. And then there's a settling that happens. The nice thing about Ace of Cups is often when it comes up, it really means like a brand new start in your emotional life. So usually it means that you just, like, from here on out, you just have a new baseline of feeling better. And so that's always nice. So you can lean into that. Hopes and fears. This month we have the 5 of Wands. Getting a hit on my back again. Kind of more solar plexus-y up to the heart this time. Okay, so we did already address this a bit. This is your negative self-talk. It's like you so want to be this new person, and you are, Aries, you are. You so want to be this new person. You're so tired of the old way. And so when the old way crops up again, I think you're just going to be fighting yourself. This is what I always say to clients, especially clients that I coach. When you end up in a space where you polarize yourself, where you have an idea of how you want to be, right? And it's totally valid and great and healthy usually. But then you also have this, whatever the other pattern is, whether it's like, just negative self-talk or whatever. What ends up happening is like, because you want to get here, like this is the goal, but this is still in your back brain, you just end up fighting yourself and then polarizing yourself. And so now you've kind of created this split off of like the part of you that is in the old way or the wounded way, and the part of you that's really trying to get to the new healthy way, or the new habit, or whatever. And so it's really important that you accept all parts of you, not reject. Because when you reject, you're just pushing it deeper into a corner of your consciousness. You're not dealing with it. So what you need to do in that situation is, if you want to get here into this new pattern and you're in this old way, you need to ask that old way how they're feeling and what they need, why they are the way they are, what they're doing to keep you safe, and then what you are doing differently so that you don't need that old way anymore. That's what's going to actually create the shift, so that this old way gets redirected into the new way instead of creating a polarization. Okay, so don't blame, shame, judge the parts of you that just aren't quite where your goal is right now. Okay, just bridge the gap, meet the need, and then you can move on. Okay, and then your outcome this month, the star. What I like about this star in particular is, if you can see the figure, she's holding like two like lights in her hand, one in each hand. One is like shining down, I don't know, maybe on the earth or something, or around her. She's beaming a light on others, right? But she's also, with her other hand, like beaming a light on herself and like illuminating herself and basking in her own light, her own glow, which she is giving to herself. She's accepting, I am this light, right? And that's really key here. So by the end of the month, I mean, you're going to end up in a space, if you do this work, where you do feel radiant and you feel like you can shine that light on yourself and just be everything that you are and feel like you're enough. Okay, and the great thing that happens when you feel like you're enough is that's how you make the people around you feel. Okay, so that's the goal here. That's where you're guaranteed to get to if you do this work. And very beautiful. I'm still feeling kind of the lower to mid back pain here by the end of the month. So it looks like this is just going to be a tough nut to crack. So just have grace with yourself, hold space. Rome wasn't built in a day. These things take time. And as long as you can have that self-compassion and hold space for all the parts of you to catch up and align with, your current present state of consciousness, it's just going to happen faster, and it's going to be a lot easier for you, because we're always in process, right? We're always in process, and because we're always in process, we're never perfect, right? If we were perfect, we'd be dead. Since we're always in process, that's all you can do. All you can do is show up each and every day and hold space for what is, and that means, who you are becoming and who you were before, and that both affects the present. Okay, so allow yourself to feel like you're enough with everything that you are, and that is all of the stuff that you love and all the stuff that you maybe don't appreciate as much or understand as much, or everything that comes from a wounded place, right? You don't have to be perfect, you just need to be real, and being real is being in radical acceptance of who you are right now. Okay, so that's the path. Trust yourself, love yourself. That's it. If you'd like to schedule a personal reading with me so we can really get into this in your personal situation and come up with resources, I can help you with this wounded pattern, whatever, then please reach out to me. You can do so in the box below. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see the next Aries video, and I will see you guys in April. I hope you have a good month. Bye.